you'll see America's favorite sport on WHBQ television.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guests.
It's the best damn Memphis Wrestling themed talk show on the face of God's green earth. Yellow again, everybody. The owner, the founder, the president, Power Pro Wrestling in his house, ready to go with talking Memphis Wrestling on a Tuesday night, just like we always do. It is today, August the 26th. We'll lead off by saying, big show, we'll take a look at the 1982, because last week we showed the 1971 Scaffold match between Jarrett and Don Green. Today on this program, the 1982 Scaffold match between Koko Ware. It was higher in the air, it was more dangerous. Bill Superstar Dundee and Koko Ware. We also will show you from some stuff from 1996 USWA and the Power Pro Wrestling return of Jim Cornette, all today on a jam-packed, fired up, ready to go, best Memphis Wrestling show out there, people, if I do say so myself, and I do. Dottie Turner in the house, Double L, BLLB. She sent me a carrot package, a bunch of goodies, and I appreciate that, Thomas, and my man Calvin, and Greg, and everybody in the house. So is from Birmingham, Alabama. They're getting ready to start the football season pretty soon. He sent his beautiful younger child, Meg, back to school, so he's probably in a sad mood, but my favorite kid of his is the one that I don't think gets attention from him, so I feel sorry for Wyatt Trammell, because Pat just showed favoritism, just horrible, but don't say Pat Trammell is a bad guy. He's a super guy, a fantastic guy, my friend, the original co-host of this here show, Talking Memphis Wrestling. We're going to bring him in here right now, the great, fantastic Alabamian, Pat freaking by God Trammell.
My goodness, you've never put me over like that in my life. Thank you very much.
I'm setting you up.
I guess so. Okay, that's fine. At least I've got this. Well, hey, Calvin, hello to everybody. I am really excited about where we're going to go in our journey tonight. I looked over what we're going to talk about, and I think it's going to be interesting and fascinating and all those things all the way around. And I'm very excited to be on tonight.
If we have time.
From the downstairs studio tonight, you notice.
Now explain that, because you already explained it to me, and we'll get to Dr. Robinson. We're saving the person that's never here for last. And by the way, Michael St. John having radio issues. He won't be here tonight. He hopes to be here next week. First take, Pat Trammell. Beside the hellos, what's going on in your life?
Well, the first take is, as I said, I'm in the downstairs studio, mainly my man cave. Generally, I'm in the guest bedroom, but we have a guest here, a family friend whose husband's had some surgery at UAB, and he's doing well. And I am right now trying to keep their dog, which is in the garage there, away from my dogs, which are upstairs. They don't know each other exist yet, so.
Could that be a disaster?
I don't I don't know. I've got two dogs that have totally different personalities, so it would be hard to get them both on the same page. So we might try that the next day or two, but not today.
Very good. I want to say hello, Pat, to Brandon Wheeler is in
Hey,
his house. Hey, Brandon Wheeler, a lot of folks here. This is a lot of fun. You want me to bring in the next panel member?
absolutely.
He is from Memphis, Tennessee. He left. He got out of Memphis while the getting is by God was by God good. He's been in Los Angeles. He's been in Texas. He's been all over. Decades in New Orleans, Louisiana, where he still has a home. But most of the time, my man is in Orange Beach, Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is William. His name is Rusty. His name is Doctor. He is the proud husband of my good, close personal friend, Beth Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the newest addition to this show, and he adds a lot of intelligence, a lot of medical knowledge, a lot of Memphis wrestling knowledge. Our friend, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'll tell you his gimmick. He is William. He is Rusty. He is Doctor. He is a loyal and helpful and new member of the Talking Memphis Wrestling crew. Man, don't know how we did it without him. We're going to have him on here right now to do his birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, William Rusty Robinson, and I'm blowed up, so talk.
I can never live up to your intros for me, Randy, but I'll do my best. I am, in fact, in New Orleans right now.
No,
I had
you're me around again.
I had a music gig last night in New Orleans, and I had to do some paperwork over at Tulane today. So I just stayed to do this show last night, but I will go back to Orange Beach tomorrow morning. And I'm looking forward to this show because we're going to talk about the year 1982, which was really a bit, for me, it was a very important year because I was a freshman and sophomore medical student during that year, which means you're mostly doing classwork, you're reading books and so forth. And I watched every single episode of that year because that's all I had time for. So I saw every single Saturday morning, I don't know, almost every Monday night in the Coliseum because that was my social life basically in 1982. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 82 was a great, great year. Now, my next co-host, man, he's been messing with me. He said he would be here all summer, and he wasn't. He started the school semester, which I thought we wouldn't see him for 9 months. He fooled me. After 2 weeks of freaking disasters, he ends up showing up. Never know if he's coming or going, but by God, I'm always happy that he is here. Now, with my friend Craig Miller, longtime Nettleton High School guy, I've converted him. I sat at the announce table at Jonesboro Volleyball last night with Craig. Before I die, I am going to convert Nettleton Raider. I know not many people know what you're talking about, what I'm talking about. The Raiders, the Hurricanes, the Blazers, the Warriors. You don't know that. Chris knows that. He is a Nettleton Raider, and he's in Southside, Arkansas right now. He has a lot on his plate. He was probably still in high school in 1982, I would guess. If not, he wasn't out long. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Arkansan to me, my buddy, Chris Ellis. Chris, come on in and do your first take.
It's great to be back, RH. And my first take is, how about this weather? 78 degrees today. 78. I mean, I just soon turn school back out and just sit outside and drink coffee. It's been awesome. 110 on a school bus for 2 weeks, and school buses don't run real well when it's 110. So it's been a trying 2 weeks. Man, we're off to a good start. I'm knocking on wood. 2 days in. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We're halfway there. So here we go. Hey, everybody. It's great to be back.
Now, LL says hello to you. PJ says hello to you. Thomas Lemon says hello. Frank said hello to you. And Richard Hood says hello. So, absolutely, people are glad to see yourself. I almost said the AWS word, but I remember your position there, and I forget I can't cuss when you're on. You make it hard for an old wrestling guy to do this show without cussing. I'm not always successful, but I know you don't like it when I'm cussing on this show.
No, it's fun. It don't bother me. It don't bother me as long as I don't participate. We'll be okay. But Frank says it's football weather. So speaking of that, Pat, roll tide.
And he says roll tide, Pat.
I said roll tide right back. It's gonna be an interesting year for us.
Gonna be fun Saturday.
Yeah, will be.
We'll find out real quick, I think.
Yeah.
Any other first take, Chris?
You talk about the Raiders and the Hurricanes. I don't know. Only thing could probably convert me to being a Hurricanes, they start writing my check on the 20th of the month. I'm a Southside Southerner now because that's what my check is. So if Jonesboro hired me to work for enough money, I'll wear some Jonesboro apparel.
If it was athletic director wise, they have an athletic director, and I think he's a friend of yours, right?
He is, yeah.
God bless
the head basketball coach.
Do what?
So's the head basketball coach.
Friend of yours, that's right. They had a new superintendent. If I had a good connection, I'd have got you that job.
Oh, yeah, I don't think any of us got good enough connections to do that. That's a pretty big time job.
And it would probably be a pretty stressful job as well.
Yeah, I think they're all stressful anymore because you deal with the government assistants. They like to help us in the education world nowadays.
Frank Seaton says Jonesboro looked pretty good in their benefit game last week against Pulaski Academy. I think you can throw out the results of that. They play for real this coming Friday night, and I believe we have tough duty. We play Conway Friday night at Conway, Chris.
Yeah, Conway will be very good. They're one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the state. But now they did look good against PA because PA is a historic power, and I'm sure they're still going to be good again. So Jonesboro looks like they're much better. Now, I don't feel like they're on Conway's level by any means.
Chris is Southern born. Pat, Southern born. William, Southern born. Now that brings me to this comment. Ben says, and I'm going to let Pat handle this after I read it. Ben says, I forget where Ben is from, somewhere. I believe he's a dang Yankee. I believe he is, but I'm not sure. He says, you guys south of the Mason-Dixon are spoiled with football and the wrestling territories. Pat, explain what he's saying and tell him if we're guilty or not.
We are covered up with guilt, and I love it more than anything. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have professional wrestling and football. I really don't. And Ben, I'm sorry. You're welcome to come down. I'll take you to Alabama games. We'll go up to East Tennessee and see Bo James in one of the last great territories. And but yeah, I am thankful every day of how I grew up and doing this show and being involved in all of it.
Southern born, Southern bred. When all 3 of us dies, we'll be by God Southern dead, as Billy Wills says. Hi, Randy. This is Billy. Hey, Billy, what's going on? He just can't wait to see the football game. What football game? There's a lot of football games. Ben is from New England. Bless his pea-picking heart for being.
Well, now they got lobsters and stuff up there.
Do what?
They got lobsters and stuff up there. I
had
tell you,
Tom Brady.
Ben, I don't know where you are in New England, but I was in Boston for the first time in my life in the spring, and really enjoyed it. I did a tour Lexington and Concord and Bunker Hill and all the revolutionary sites, and really loved that city. It was a lot of fun.
Before we get into this big show tonight with a lot of stuff and the best scaffold match I've ever seen in my life, 1982, Memphis, Tennessee. We'll talk the whole card and we'll see the match. About 20 minutes worth for the scaffold match. We'll have that in just a few minutes. Chris gave me a phone call about 30 minutes before we went on the air, and the person that I want you to talk about, Chris, is the reason you called me and the little story. Let's don't spend a lot of time on this, but we have a picture that I uploaded to back up your story, and now a very interesting bonus for a steak from Assistant Superintendent Chris Ellis. He goes full screen. It's on you, Chris.
All right. Well, I shared with Randy when I saw the notes that Outlaw Ron Bass is on our notes for today. And a friend of mine from Eastern Arkansas that actually coaches at Rivercrest High School, Ronnie Dye, actually was the pastor for Ron Bass's funeral. Because people may not know, Ron Bass is from born in Harrisburg, Arkansas, and from the Truman area, and actually worked with Ronnie Dye's father at the Singer plant before he went into the wrestling business. So he was living in Tampa when he passed, and he came back home. And I actually have the entire sermon that Ronnie Dye did at Ron Bass's funeral, which was really cool because I loved wrestling growing up, and Ronnie Dye did too. And he actually knew Ron Bass personally, talked about how great a guy he was, nothing like the character he portrayed in the ring. And that was a cool story. And when I saw that come up today, I just thought I would share that.
Very interesting first take. Do you have many memories, Rusty, about Big Outlaw Don Bass?
I do. You know, he used to bill himself as being from Pampa, Texas. That's a very small town outside Amarillo, Texas, in West Texas. So I don't know how he came up with that. I could not find any connection of Ron to Pampa. I don't know if he ever lived there. Maybe he wrestled in Amarillo. I don't know. Maybe he just drew that name out of a hat. You got me. So I don't know why he picked himself as coming from Pampa, Texas.
You never know, and a lot of the WWF stars back then lived in Tampa, Florida. Chris,
I wonder if he may have broken in with the Funks in Amarillo.
That's
what I wondered.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Chris, any memories? Because obviously he's lived around Harrisburg, which is 15 minutes from Jonesboro, 20 minutes from Jonesboro, Truman, 15 to 20 minutes from Jonesboro. Did you ever run into Outlaw Ron Bass? And I think you've brought that up on this show before.
Two times. My buddy Darren Neal, we got out of his grandparents' house one day, and I looked over. I'm in the passenger side of his Toyota truck, and I look over, the guy sitting on the porch, and I'm thinking, that guy looks like Ron Bass. And so we walk up on the front porch of Darren's grandparents, and I go, Darren, it looks like Ron Bass. And Darren starts laughing and said, that's because it is. So he was, and I mean, back in those days, you wasn't going to go talk to him. Like, you know, he may slap you. And then at the NEA tournament one time, I was refereeing the NEA tournament. And Randy, you know where we sit when we sit together at the NEA tournament. He was sitting right in that area. And I came out on the floor and I looked up there, and he just kind of made eye contact with us and nodded his head. And I looked at my partner and said, y'all know who that is? No. I said, I'll tell you when we get in the dressing room. I had to tell, they didn't know who he was, which I thought, I mean, I guess he was home from Florida visiting for Christmas, but obviously I knew who he was, but he was just sitting up there in the crowd watching ball like everybody else. But, you know, I mean, they had a job to do. So, but back in the day in high school age, like 1982, I wasn't going to walk up and say, hey, man, what's up? You know, that wasn't going to happen.
No, it wasn't going to happen at all. Do you have any memories, Pat Trammell, on Outlaw Ron Bass?
You know, he was and I think I might be right. You know, that Ron Bass character is a is right out of the Funk School and the deep South Southern badass, and he certainly was one of them.
All right, are we ready to talk some wrestling? Are we ready to get into that? Man, the 80s was great. Didn't start
But
the
wait,
year
wait,
off
wait a minute.
rough.
Before we get off college football, one more. You
Okay.
can't overlook the Tulane Green Wave this year, which plays their home opener this coming Saturday against Northwestern. I think they're still a 5.5 point favorite, and I'm predicting for the season Tulane will be 9-3, maybe win the American Conference and go to a bowl game. Outside chance that they make the playoffs, but that's going to be my suggestion: is 9-3.
They're playing Big Ten Northwestern.
Yes.
All right, that'll be a game.
Yeah.
I'll say this: that the crowd in attendance will be the smartest crowd at a college football game the entire year. Tulane versus Northwestern be the smartest fan bases playing each other the whole season.
Yeah, good point.
21 minutes into this here show. We got Pat Trammell, we got Rusty, Dr. Robinson, we got Chris Ellis. Are you ready? Are you ready for some wrestling? 1980 Memphis Wrestling Wise was a disaster. It could have been the end. It could be the final. A lot of people thought Memphis Wrestling would go away. The biggest star of the last 7 years, Jerry the King Lawler, was out for almost the whole year because of a broken leg. But they survived the years off the backs of Bill Dundee, Handsome Jimmy Vane, and Jimmy Hart was the main reason to set the table for the King's return in 1981, and that's what they did. At the end of 81, the debut of the Fabulous Ones, that led right in to 82. 82, a great year. Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler. It led in to the Fabulous Ones and the Sheep Herders and the Moondogs and Fargo Return and all kinds of stuff going on. It was an explosive year off the back of a lot of people. Now, Adam's saying, he says, I have a question for you, Randy. How did the USWA get on TV twice in Boston, once in 1990 and then in 94? We had a syndicator and he was just shopping the show. We didn't get it was a barter system. They were supposed to send money on spots they sold. They never sent us any money. So it was an absolute waste. One of the big things, and we'll show the generic Mid-South Coliseum picture and the picture you showed earlier, Adam, of the main event. You can hold that up till we get to the main event. We want to talk about this great card from June the 21st, 1982. The Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. It drew 9,000 people. Listen to this opening match on June the 21st, 1982. Fabulous One member Steve Kern against Troy Graham, the Dream Machine. And folks, that's opening the card. That's the way they started the Mid-South Coliseum before 9,000 people on June the 21st, 1982. The second match of the night, we talked about him earlier. This was a bull rope match, the specialty of Cowboy Ron Bass, and we'll throw the Ron Bass picture up there real quick, and then we'll come back to the Mid-South Coliseum card. Ron Bass, the big cowboy, rough and tough, from Harrisburg and Truman area, big bad son of a gun, no doubt about it. He was in a bull rope match with future WWF, or maybe even at that time, former WWF champion. I think it's future. It's Ron Bass against the Iron Sheik in a bull rope match. The third match. Pat, the third match on this card was Jerry Lawler in the third match out of 7 against, in a handicap match, against Beautiful Bobby Eaton, and Jimmy Hart. Then came a Mid America Championship, Memphis owned King Cobra, Jimmy Kimball, against the number one citizen from Oilcroft, Texas, Dirty Dutch Mantel. Number 5. It was for the Southern Heavyweight Championship. Kamala, the champion, the Ugandan giant. Kamala debuted debuted in June. Then June 7th, he won the Southern title by defeating Jerry Lawler. Then he got in over Lawler. Then King Cobra. Then Stan Lane. Then Steve Kern. Then Dundee. Finally, Ron Bass. Then to Lawler. It led to Jimmy Vanga coming back in, the return of Lawler and Vanga. It led to sellouts. This Southern title match, Kamala and Stan Lane. The sixth match, Jerry Lawler doing double duty. Jerry Lawler and Carl Fergie against Dennis Condrey and Austin and Dennis Condrey and Norvell Austin. Austin and Condrey, the Midnight Express against Lawler and Fergie. Before we go to that main event of this card that took place June the 21st, 1982, the card so far will start with the original co-host, the senior member, and I don't know, maybe the youngest member of the panel. What do you think about this here great card? And we're not finished with it yet.
I don't know what admission was, but I would have paid full price admission to watch the first match and gone home happy, unless I'm missing something. I mean, Steve Kern and Troy Graham. I would love to see that,
I
and
mean, just
and then you go from there.
yeah, it started out right, and this is the way a lot of the cards start. The build to Kamala, it was just absolutely tremendous. That card we just read, Chris. What's your thoughts?
I had two thoughts. It's an amazing card, but the worst worker on the card is in the semifinal match with Lawler as his tag team partner, his cousin Carl Fergie. That's how. I mean, I'm not being negative toward Carl. I'm just saying he's the worst worker on this crew that's working this show. It's a deeply talented show. A lot of great. I mean, I don't. There surely was added cost to this show. I wouldn't think that there couldn't be. And the second of all, this card proves that Kamala Harris can win. She was just 40 years too late.
You're a wicked fellow, I'm afraid.
Okay, Rusty, respond for this card. No political insights required.
You mean I can't say Kamala
No.
Harris? No. Okay. Okay. What I will say, can you believe how good Troy Graham was? I mean, I was always just fascinated with how good he was, and I'm a little surprised that he never made it on to a bigger territory. I think he did go to the WWF for a little while, but I would have thought he would have done, big runs at either WCW or WWF, but I don't think he did.
No, he didn't at all, and that card was absolutely fantastic. Let's get Pat back on here. Pat, do you have company? I hear some dogs.
Yeah, you did. You did. Suzanne got home and the dog came in so she could get in the garage, and now he's back out in the garage, and I don't know if the dogs upstairs saw him or not. There's a peephole in the door upstairs, so they may have found each other.
So you can do the warning right now. You can officially do the warning. We may have some extra added background noise, and it's all Pat's fault. Pat, do a disclaimer right now, please.
I cannot be held responsible for what barking dogs can do tonight.
Now, let's talk about the main event. Do that action shot right now, Adam, for me. As this is a follow-up on last week's show, and last week's show we were here and we talked about with Pat and with Rusty, we talked about the original Scaffold match between Jarrett and Don Green. Well, this one was June the 21st, 1982, the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, 9,000 people in attendance. This is up higher, this is bigger, this is more exciting, this is just craziness. This, as we will watch in just a minute, this will be Dundee and Koko. First question I will ask the two guys that did at times go to the Mid-South Coliseum for the Monday night matches. And Rusty in middle school, he talked about being there a lot on Monday nights. But we'll go to with Chris first. Chris, what year did you graduate high school?
I graduated in '84, so this would have been the summer of my junior year. I was actually able to drive starting in September of this year.
So, do you think you went to this big scaffold match, and do you remember how hot '82 was?
I remember how hot '82 was, and to me, it stayed hot through about '86. But I remember the scaffold match because I'm terribly scared of heights, and I've always thought, you know, and Koko was a great athlete, and Dundee was in the circus, so he was comfortable doing that. But that, like, man, have you ever been up on a scaffold, like working or painting? It's scary enough. Like, it wobbles when you just up there painting. We're body slamming people and backdropping people. I wouldn't want any part of it. So what I was going to ask was, they get extra payoff for taking the risk or no?
Not for taking a risk, they would get an extra payoff for being the main event of a show that drew over 9,000 people. So, yes, they were paid very well. But if it wouldn't have drawn, they'd have got minimum pay. But you know it was going to draw. You know, you absolutely know. So, as we build expectations, Pat, we watched that scaffold match last week with Don Green and Jarrett. You looking forward to seeing what we're going to see tonight?
I'm really looking forward to it because, you know, one thing I noticed is you probably don't want to put Kamala up on that thing. You get your most athletic guys up there, I assume, and I'm kind of curious to see how this one goes versus the first one as far as athleticism is concerned.
First of all, Bill Dundee and Koko Ware. That's the match. Last week it was Jarrett and Don Green. You can just imagine. You can just imagine. And then it went from 1971, and this was 1982, and so wrestling had evolved, and as it has today, as a matter of fact. So just a very interesting situation. We're going to leave our mics on so we can talk. We can certainly listen some to Lance. Adam, this is the Dundee Koko scaffold match. This clip is 19 minutes and 24 seconds, so it's pretty much the whole deal. So we go to the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee with Chris Ellis, Rusty Robinson, Pat Treadle. I'm Randy Ells, and this is Talking Memphis Wrestling, and roll the scaffold match. Koko being called sweet brown sugar at this time, guys.
I thought him and Eaton together at this time was a great team.
Fantastic. Let's listen to the rules.
In this match, both wrestlers will ascend the platform to the ladders to the platform, and that is where the bout will take place. If a wrestler is knocked off, he will have a 20 count to get back to the ladder to start back up to the platform. In the event that he is knocked off of the platform twice, he is the loser of the bout.
Thank you, Adam, for watching tonight. Thomas loves him, the superstar. Frank says Koko had the best standing drop kick, and we're listening to the best ring announcer ever, I think, guys.
Agreed.
No
You
question.
know, I always wondered if Bill Dundee had been 5 or 6 inches taller, how much bigger he would have made it on the national scene. And he was just so good, but he was so much shorter than most of the guys in WWF or WCW.
He had that work ethic most people didn't, and that ambition most people didn't. If he'd have gotten a push, he would have done good. And Richard, yes, I remember Koko and Steve Kern. I was not there during their fight. I was not there during that night.
Well, here's
David
what we've been
Linville
waiting
says
for.
Dundee not
And you see
scared
who's
of
up there first.
Scaffold. We'll just sit back and enjoy,
A
Pat.
little Australian.
Now, is that not more impressive than last week? Just the beginning of it, the height
really?
of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's pushing 20 feet off the map.
Pat, what do you think it was last week for the match we chose from 71?
Dundee is already up there, and here comes
12
Brown
feet,
Sugar,
15 feet
who is
maybe?
not sure he
I'd
is
say
going
12.
up.
Yeah.
Referee Jerry Calhoun says, let's get it back up or end it. And Dundee, yeah. Billy comes over and says, let me give you a hand. Oh, yeah?
Thank you, Billy.
Brown Sugar, who is not at all thrilled about the whole idea of this match. He graciously gave Dundee a chance to back out, but Billy thought he just might go ahead and see if he couldn't make out okay. Dundee, who did high steel work as a young man in Australia and worked in a circus, has absolutely no fear of heights. He is a master at the
Donald
scaffold
says
match.
that's a long way up there,
Nobody
and
has
that's a
been able to
great
beat
camera
him
shot there,
because
boys.
he feels so at home.
That Randy
And
Ware
Brown
shooting
Sugar
that
is ready
again.
to say,
Yes.
let's change
It's
our
right on
Absolutely.
eye.
here.
It's pretty much on eye level where
The
Randy's
rules
located.
governing it. If a wrestler
crazy.
is knocked off the platform
When
twice,
you think about how he normally
loses the
shoots
match.
down on the ring,
When he is
Right.
knocked off,
He's almost
he
shooting
has
straight
a
across.
20
Yeah.
count to get back to the ladder, starting up again.
it's been one of those nights when I sat in the low section.
Let me
I've been
tell
on the front
you,
row.
that platform
Yeah, good seats.
is way up in the air.
I didn't get to
I
sit down in
climbed
the
up
front row.
one
so I had
time
sit
to
on
see
that
what it
front
looked
row.
like, and that ring looks like a postage stamp from up there.
Postage stamp.
When you get up there, it doesn't look like there's room to even fall down in the ring on the sides. It's a peculiar perspective. Well, if
Well,
you've
for
ever
Pat,
been
I
at
don't
Jimmy
think the
Hart down there,
drama
Howard,
is as
go
high
get him,
as it
Sugar,
was
go get
last
him.
week
That's
when we
'cause Hart's
watched
down
Jarrett
here
and
where
Don
we
Green.
are.
Do you?
And Sugar is up there with Dundee.
Not so far, but we're just getting started.
This is one Billy wanted.
No, you're right, Randy. From the opener last week, the fans were cheering
And
Jerry
Sugar using a
heavily.
headbutt
but they're a little quiet right
knocks Dundee down.
All right, I'm
Billy
guessing OSHA didn't
pounded on
exist
him,
in
trying to get him
1982.
off. Sugar right
No, this
himself.
wouldn't happen now, would it?
Big right
No.
hand from Sugar.
No, we're over doing construction on our
Ooh,
campus.
Dundee
I
caught
have
him
to
with
wear a
that
hard
foot.
hat to do anything. Like, with all these regulations, they're tied off roads.
Sugar.
And I watch this, and I'm just shaking my head. We just got backdropped on a scaffold 20 foot in the air. No big
Cornette
deal.
scissors, but Bill not really in a position to wrap him up. Now he's going to work on him. Brown Sugar takes a shot from Dundee. Bill on an outside toe hold.
David, there's a
and Sugar
reason we
cooked him,
won't
kicked
put
him right in
your
the face.
comment on the screen. There's a reason that you said I'm not putting it on the screen. So there you go. Thomas says, I don't think Vince ever did a single scaffold match in the
He blasted
WWF,
Dundee. Billy
WWE.
back to the ladder.
Of course, they did in
there he
WCW, the
goes.
Midnight Express, involved in that.
And Dundee going down. He's going to have
Al
to hit
has
the floor,
comments
I'm
about
sure.
this.
Brown Sugar bounced his head off of it.
Watching
Now he's
Koko
hot
kick
dogging it.
Dundee in the head made me think I watched some video the other day when Gordon announced with Lance. And that's why Gordon didn't announce.
He has to hit the mat. He did
no
not until the count did not start. That is not one.
Lance just said it like it was.
Dundee grabs the
We always
ring,
try to
the
use all that
rungs rather,
vocabulary.
underneath the platform.
Hey, Bill.
It is what it is.
He's trying to swing his
That's
way
what the
back
Memphis
up, but
fans
Sugar
love
going
about
after
it.
him.
He's kicking him in the face.
Sugar kicking Dundee in the head. Bill
Easy in
hanging
the
on,
head.
trying to get to the other side. He lost it except for one hand. He's hanging there.
It's an incredible streak to do that.
I was going to say, my goodness.
Dundee swings a
Dundee
leg
was in
up.
great shape.
Ooh, and Sugar bangs him again. He's got him like a pendulum
No
now.
kick.
There you go.
Yes, and there we go.
He's down. That's one more, and Bill's through.
Jimmy Harsh just
He's got a 20 count to start back up the ladder.
Absolutely.
Referee Jerry Calhoun at 7. And Dundee checking his hand where Sugar stomped on it on those rungs up there. He started up, so he breaks the count.
Thomas, I don't remember how wide this was.
Between 2 and 3
Bill trying to get
feet,
his
wasn't it?
second win.
Yeah, it
Bumping
was
his way
wider
back
than
up.
last time.
Sugar
The
grabs
match we
him,
showed last
slams
week.
his head into that post, and Dundee may be in danger of losing a scaffold match, which would really be a first. Hart cheering Brown Sugar on. And Bill Dundee hanging in there, kicks Brown Sugar. He is really
I tell you,
belting
Bill
him.
is just, he is so able to move like that.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Bill back up on
That
top
strength
of the
right there, as
platform.
tired
Sugar
as he
just
has to
barely
be,
gets up.
he just lifted himself up and sat down on that scaffold. That's unbelievable.
Oh, if you could appreciate how high, and Sugar trips him face first right down on that metal platform. Dundee hurt, and he's already been off once. One more, and he's through. Hart hollering, hit him, hit him, hit him. He swings, Dundee moves back, hooks the head, and he and
David
Sugar
Linville
battling
in the
at
chat
it.
says he remembers Jim Cornette hanging from a scaffolding before
Billy
he fell
drops
in
an
injuries.
elbow.
He's commented
He's
on that
kicking
many
him.
times. He blew
He's
his
got
whole
one
knee out,
leg of
like
Sugar.
almost
Yeah.
every ligament on that fall.
Back in Jim Crockett promotions against the Road Warriors against the
Kicks
Midnight.
him in the side. Sugar trying to hold on. Bill gets that other leg. Ooh, he mashed Sugar's fingers. Kicked him right in the face. He's got him off the platform, but not on the floor, and now he invites him up. Just imagine the physical exertion of climbing around trying to hold on. And then think of the fact of how high they are off that ring.
No, Koko going to the tights.
The crowd crowd murmuring
When's
as
the last
Sugar
time
may
you
have been
saw
going to his
wrestling go
tights.
to
We
the
couldn't see it.
It's something that's sorely missed.
It really is.
But everybody
Dundee
in the
has been off
Coliseum
once.
saw it except the referee.
And Bill pulls off a boot.
Because he wasn't supposed to see it.
Going to your tights and the loaded boot need to have a comeback.
Yeah.
We're almost 10
That and the
minutes
large
into the
mask
action.
wrestler. Not the Lucha Libre, but a mask
This is a fight to the finish.
My man Bill Eaton. I don't remember Dundee taking his boot off. I remember this match.
Dundee has the boot
part.
back on now. Bill starts the ladder wobbling, and Brown Sugar runs back, sits down.
RH, are you at the table?
Yes.
Dundee over, working Sugar over.
Six minutes, 45 seconds left in this match.
Boy,
This
if he
is
does
Dundee.
not
This
keep
is
off
Koko
there, he's
Ware.
outside the
This
ring.
is June 21st, 1982, Mid-South Coliseum, 9,000 people.
Sugar slips away, heads back to the middle. Dundee has him part of the way up. Billy trying to dislodge that other hand. Sugar hanging on. Dundee chopping him. And Sugar is down. One apiece.
Tell you what, Koko took a bang there.
Yeah.
Is the loser.
He didn't have really great. He had great quads. He's a great running back.
Yeah,
He's
it's
a
a
great
20 count.
athlete.
I don't
great
think he's
quad
in any
strength.
danger of being
Those
counted out.
knees would have been hurt right
Unless
there,
he
I
chooses
think.
to forfeit.
I would ask Chris, is there a special strategy for taking a bump like that would be different than just taking a regular bump, coming up from that high? Is there something else you try to do to protect yourself?
Randy, you think they were trying to fall either on their feet or on their butt?
They've both been off once.
Mainly the feet
The next
first,
one to
then
go
take the
is
back
the loser.
bump or the butt. That's
Yeah,
right.
kind of roll with it. Yeah.
Sugar now.
This
getting
is
up his
pretty
nerve,
much
standing up. He's ready to do
uncharted
battle.
territory. It just happened, but these are two guys that support Dundee longer than Koko, but for years wrestling every night. Both athletic.
Dundee twisting that arm.
So RH not to get too inside here.
Sugar stuns
but
Billy, and Billy almost
I
ready to
assume
go.
Bill's calling it.
He's staggered.
But he has the experience of doing this.
You would think so.
Brown Sugar on the back of Bill
I'm thinking
Dundee.
they're not calling much because it's a drama. They're not doing a whole lot.
All of this 15 feet above the ground.
I say they have a general idea of what they're going to do when they go to the ring and get up on that scaffold.
Looks
And
like
both
he may have
of
a
them
chokehold on him from here.
will tell the other one what they're fixing to do next. That would be my
Bill
guess.
has his hands hooked under the side rail.
There's two Hall of
Nails
Famers,
Sugar
so
with
it's
a
two
knee.
great talents.
Foot. And he bounces
Koko was
Dundee's
such a
head
great
off that
athlete.
platform.
I mean, that Birdman stuff in WWF, I know he made a lot of money, but my God, he was just such a great athlete.
Sure.
And Dundee, a leg is off.
Pat, the drama, as we said, was better last week, but there's no doubt Koko and Dundee, this
Sugar very close to winning
is
it.
higher risk because it's up there higher,
Billy comes
and
back up.
this is more physically impressive. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I mean, it being the first one last week, I mean, nobody got hurt, but you still watch it and think about it.
Terrifying but
Plus,
spectacular
you know,
scaffold match, and Dundee kicks at Sugar.
These guys are a lot more comfortable up here.
And Dundee's the leader of that, and Koko's just a brave son of a gun. And Thomas, I think I did show the Lawler Dundee Rich Idol scaffold match, and we will show it next week. I looked for the Dutchman Till Dundee scaffold match and was not able to find that. I'll continue to look that up. And hello, Bobby Bunch, how are you doing?
Yeah, this is definitely more exciting just in terms of the two guys than the match we saw last week. They're using, like, instead of near falls, they're using near drop off the ladder. And every time they do it, boy, it's just, the crowd gets revved up.
Watch here. Crowd coming up. Boom!
Bill Dundee. 15 minutes, 17 seconds.
Said, when's the last time you saw somebody go to the tights? When's the last time you saw a crowd jump out of their seat like that?
It's amazing. What Flair says my name? Right back at you, buddy.
As he fell, he hit his wrist down on a mat. And he has either hurt his wrist or his elbow or something. Dundee the winner in 15-17. Sugar is hurt where he hit the canvas. Once again, the winner, Bill Dundee.
All right, is he working there or was he hurt? I don't remember.
Well, I would think that if I took that fall off the ladder, I think it would have probably broke my neck, much less arm. So that's how I'm going to answer that question, if you know what I mean.
We're going to see if we can get Dundee over.
You know, I didn't see Koko fall that time, but if he fell and landed on his hand or wrist, then he could very well have broken it.
That's got to
Just
be
like
one of the
in
toughest
skiing,
scaffold matches
you
ever
learn
had,
not
Bill.
to fall on your hand, but fall on some bigger area so you don't break a wrist.
But you can ask that garbage laying right there how it feels.
He looks like he may have broken an arm.
If you want to call you skinny butt up there, we'll have you right now too, boy. I'll tell you what I'll do, Hal. I'll take you your whole steak and turn around there. One at a time, Jack. One at a time if you want to.
Bill Dundee making a challenge the whole family. Okay, congratulations, Bill, on a big win. It looks like Sugar may have broken an arm over there or something when he hit. Bill Dundee, the winner, and he is still the champion of the scaffold match.
Now, David Linville says, didn't the Fabulous One have a match against Eaton and Sugar? I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens, just great matches. And so we spent 20 minutes on that. Let's wrap it up on that subject of the scaffold match from 1982, and just quick thoughts to sum up your thoughts on this, Pat Trammell. Then we'll go with Chris, then Dr. Robinson.
I mean, you know, it was a much more, a lot less. It was less nerve-wracking, much more exciting, much more athletic. Credit to Dundee and Sugar on that.
Chris.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, two Hall of Famers. Dundee, as Lance said there at the end, still the king of the scaffold match, but Koko was such a great athlete. And that was such a great time to have so much depth of talent to watch. Every match had great talent. And you can put those guys in the main event, and it was, I mean, people are exploding out of their seats at the end.
54 minutes into the show, we're going to go to photos of the week next and just quick takes, and let's go through this quickly because I want to get all the video I want to get to. We'll start with this picture is of Don Green, a newspaper or a magazine article. It's 4410, and then we'll go from there with the pictures. And so if that newspaper picture of Don Green, and if we could get that up there as well as a real good article, and you see Pat Trammell, who wrote the article.
I just noticed that, Pat Malone. Yeah. Now this was, I guess, babyface Don Green.
Yes, sir. U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion. He just looks like somebody that can kick your ass, Pat.
He sure does. I mean, that guy, yeah. And you know, he looked that way in an era that wasn't necessarily built on physique and all that.
Oh yeah, Don always looked great.
Yeah.
So was he
Great.
the U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion, or is he Southern Junior Heavyweight Champion, or do you know?
U.S. Junior.
Okay.
Chris, your thoughts on that?
Well, I loved Don Green when I was a kid, and I've never seen this article, but it says he was a deacon in the Baptist church. I'd have never took him for a deacon in the Baptist church when I watched him when I was young, because I thought he was a bad man.
We'll let Chris lead off the description of this next picture. 4466, and here is Chris Ellis with one of his favorite teams.
Oh yeah, Bicentennial Kings, man. Phil Hickerson and Dennis Condrey. In my opinion, Condrey should be considered in consideration for the greatest tag team wrestler ever because of who all he's worked with and how successful he was. And of course, I just always liked Phil Hickerson because for a guy that, I mean, he's a big man but didn't have a great physique, but that guy could go and he was athletic.
Pat, quick thoughts. Did Hickerson and Condrey come to Birmingham much?
They did come to Birmingham. First time I ever saw Phil Hickerson. Saw them at the Boutwell Auditorium. Thought, who is that guy? And like Chris said, he could work a lot better than he looked.
Oh, he was absolutely great. Real quick thoughts on Hickerson Condrey, Rusty.
Oh, these guys were terrific. One of my favorites. You know, and Dennis was not a small man by any means. They were both pretty good size. You know, Phil was, you know, big and rotund, but Bobby was pretty big too.
I want to go back to Don Green real quick and just said that he was born in 1930. He passed away June 20th of 2014. The next picture we want to talk about is 4467. This is a rare type of picture because it's the Sheik breaking kayfabe because he came across as not human, and he's doing a human pose here as Nick Goulas, promoter Nick Goulas, and the original Sheik, Ed Farhat. Certainly, that's to me a cool picture. This Nick Goulas died in the year 91 at 76 years old. The Sheik died in 2003 at 76 years old. I thought you would think this was a cool picture, Pat.
I really do. I wish. I think Michael can get in touch with George if he has that jacket of Nick's. I'd like to buy it off of him. But now Randy, is this true or false? That's two NWA promoters there, right?
Yes.
Okay. The Sheik worked and was the promoter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And in the big split of Goulas and Jarrett in 77, the only NWA promotion that supplied talent to Nick Goulas was the Sheik.
Okay.
And that's a very interesting part. And then we'll just real quickly go to 4472. He has a stud cast that is fantastic. 4472. This is in 1975. Ron Fuller was born in 1948. He is currently 77 years old. And another cool picture is to go ahead and click on 4474. 4474. It's Gypsy Joe. Born in 1933, passed away in 2016 at age 82. Tojo Yamamoto died in 1992 at 65 years old. Gypsy Joe and Tojo Yamamoto. Real quick thoughts. We'll start Rusty, then go with Chris, then Pat ends up finishing off Gypsy Joe and Tojo Yamamoto.
Oh, Tojo was my man. Whenever we would play wrestling in the backyard when we were kids, you had to pick somebody who you wanted to be. I always picked Tojo because then I could take my shoe off and hit people over the head with it.
And real quick, interrupting that subject on that picture, Al Pollard says, "Great show, gentlemen." Mr. Ellis, I think we have a mutual friend, Ray Benton, who wrote sports for the Leader newspaper. BB was one of the schools he's covered, my old high school. Does that mean anything to you, Chris?
Yes, I do know Ray Benton very well from my coaching and athletic director days. And in fact, Ray's Uncle Dennis was an umpire, Randy, when you announced my Legion games.
Oh, is that right?
Dennis Graham from Truman is Ray Benton's uncle. He refereed or umpired when I played ball and you announced. But
Okay,
yeah,
quick.
Al, I didn't know you were a Badger, Al, but I spent 20 years there.
Quick thoughts on that picture that we just saw, Gypsy Joe and Tojo Yamamoto. Quick thoughts.
Randy Hales, you son of a gun, you know, good son of a gun. That's what I think of every time I see Tojo. But I did see something cool 2 weeks ago. Shane Douglas showed respect. He does a podcast with James, what's his name? It's on with Dutch. And he talked about he wasn't, and I forget how he said it, but he said he wasn't Tojo Yamamoto level, but he was something. He paid respect to Tojo. And I thought that was really cool because I didn't even know Shane Douglas knew who in the world Tojo was. So I thought that was awesome.
Pat?
You know, you can't say enough about Tojo. I did not recognize that as Gypsy Joe, and I mean, Gypsy Joe died in his 80s, and I know he wrestled at least into his mid 70s.
Next picture we'll look at right now is one of the greats, team with Lynn Rossi for many years, 4476 from Indianapolis, Indiana. The big cat, Bearcat Brown. He was born in 1935. He died in 1996 at 60 years old in Birmingham, Alabama. I am sure, Mr. Trammell, you saw this guy a lot.
Lynn Rossi and Bearcat were the over the top babyface team, and that guy and Lynn Rossi did more to integrate Birmingham, Alabama than the U.S. Congress ever thought about.
Bearcat Brown and Jonesboro, Chris. Quick thoughts.
Oh, yeah. I barely remember. I was really young, Randy. But I mean, just being totally honest, because the era we were born and raised in, he's the first African-American wrestler I remember. It was Bearcat Brown. And then it was like Zulu was after that. But Bearcat Brown's the first one I can recall.
Quick thoughts on Bearcat Brown, Rusty.
Oh, yeah, I think I agree with Chris. He may have been the first African-American wrestler I can recall. You know, it's just another example of how, for whatever reason, even these very segregated towns, Birmingham, Memphis, Jonesboro, wherever in the South, a black wrestler could get over as much as a white wrestler could.
Absolutely great picture there. And I think we have one more, and this was from around 1975, 1976. And I don't know how much from me or our guys will know about this team, and this is Chief Thundercloud and Danny Little Bear. Chief Thundercloud died at 56 years old, and Danny Little Bear died at 53. And Thundercloud's son was Chewy, the drummer boy, and there was a hell of an angle that I wish I still had. I don't, Chris. Do you remember where Dutch Mantell and I believe it was David Schultz, or it might have been David Schultz and Bill Ash, they beat the hell out of drummer boy Chewy, and Thundercloud did a hell of a or Little Bear did a hell of an interview. Do you remember Thundercloud and Danny Little Bear?
Yes, and I'm 99% sure it was Schultz and Bill Ash.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember them beating it because back then it's like, I don't know, 70s, early 80s, whenever it was. 75. I remember it being such a shock such a shock to watch him beat up a kid, you know, because I mean, as far as we knew, he was a kid like we were. And of course, Schultz, I was scared to death of him anyway, because he's a bad dude. So they did. And then I remember him. I remember Chief Thundercloud, Danny Little Bear coming in, and the excitement they created, like it was different and new, and the fans really got behind them.
Real quick thoughts. Do you remember Rusty, Thundercloud, and Danny Little Bear?
Yes, I do. Same as Chris. I remember in mid 70s or so, I remember them being around. You know, the thing that struck me right off the top of my head, boy, this is another gimmick that you could never get away with today.
Oh, absolutely, you could not. Any memories in Birmingham of Chief Thundercloud and Danny Little Bears? Here's Pat Trammell.
You know, they came through several times. You know, my memory of it looking back is they never got an awful lot. Either Nick didn't push them or they just didn't get over. And they would generally come, stay a couple of weeks, generally mid-card guys.
Randy, wouldn't you agree that maybe they got over more because Schultz was such a hated heel and because of what the angle they did? Don't you think that helped them get over?
Absolutely, absolutely. And Lawler was in the corner, and he had more heat than anybody in the territory. It's 6 minutes after 8. We have more to come, and we're going to reset as we re-show the open. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Ellis, Pat Trammell, Dr. Robinson, I'm Randy Hills, and we'll be back in about 20 seconds on Talking Memphis Wrestling. Yay!
You'll see America's favorite sport on WHBQ television.
I really enjoyed booking 94, 95, 96. So many highlights. 94 was Monday Night Memories. 95 was the USWA Smoky Mountain, the PG, and the Rock and Roll Express. A lot of things happened in 85, and a lot of things certainly happened in the year of 1996. And I tried to find something, and this is labeled Don't Mess with Whoopi, and it's 8 minutes, 7 seconds. And this just gives you a little idea of some of the stuff going on in the USWA in 1996 as we watch now on Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Jamie Dundee, there's the winner there. What now?
I got something else I got to talk about. I would like for you to do me a favor, Dad, and go behind that curtain and roll that bag out here.
What's bad?
There's a bag back there.
Give me the
Roll it out here.
microphone.
Roll
You
it
guys
out
wrestle and let us have it. What do you got to do now? You had your match. Why don't you just take it out of here, Jamie? We've had enough.
Hey, I'm telling you, you shut your mouth and hold on a minute. I got a point to prove to everybody.
Well, I don't know what it is.
No, you don't know what it is, because it's my point, that's why.
Well, we got a break coming up here, Jamie. Let's get it on.
All right.
Now, what is this stuff?
There's a trash can right there, too, Dad. I want you to bring it to me, please.
I got this
You
right.
don't understand. This is great. You see, what I've got here.
Was this a little show and tell or something?
Yeah, but to show you and tell you something, so shut your mouth. What I have here is what Wolfie D is a bunch of trash. And what I have inside this bag right here
It's what?
Oh,
What
man.
you got in the bag,
Oh,
man?
it's great, Dad. This is great. You're going to love it. You're going to love it more than I love it, man.
Oh, there's no snake or nothing.
No, nothing good like that. Watch out, Goya.
Boy, you
Boy,
guys.
you see what I got in my hubcap? I'm back, Wolfie D's hubcap. You know where that belongs?
Come on, Jamie.
You know what this is? Wolfie D's shorts. It belongs in the garbage. You know what these are? Wolfie D's $150 shoes. They belong in the garbage. Wolfie's boxer shorts, Wolfie's knee pads. Of course, JC Ice's old hubcaps. Remember these, punk? They belong in the garbage, too. Plus, I have more tennis shoes.
What?
More and more and more.
What are you going to do all?
Look, I have
He's got all of Wolfie's wrestling attire.
every brother. And you know what I'm going to do?
What are you doing all that
I'm
stuff?
going to burn
Hey, this television station.
Come on,
No,
now.
hey,
Not gonna be in this burning
What
in
security?
here.
We're not gonna have this out here.
What is the matter with you?
No,
Bill,
you guys
you're
are
no better
nuts.
than that, for
Hey,
crying
it's
out
my
loud.
stuff and Wolfie's in our house.
Well, this is a studio. There are people in here, and you're not going to be burning this stuff in here.
There are people in here. I'm in here. We're not gonna allow this stuff.
Okay, look, don't put this in this bag. Let's roll this outside. Now, I tell you what.
Yeah, just get out of here.
Take it outside and burn it. That's what I'll do if you want a year way less.
I'll tell you what, he'll be getting you for stealing his property. That's what he ought to be doing. You got all the Wolfie D. So what is the
What is he
matter?
doing?
I burn this day.
What is wrong with Jimmy? He's really geeked up, isn't he?
Jamie Dundee with a whole bag full of Wolfie D's attire. It's not his. It's obviously Wolfie D's.
Hey, look at this stuff.
You people watching?
This
Are
is
you all
absolutely
watching, okay? I got this out
It's
here.
gone too far, Bill. That's what
Get this out of this thing.
outside, Jamie Dundee has the trash can full of Whoopie D's wrestling attire.
It's all going up
The whole
in
PG
smoke.
thing, I mean, he's buttering it all. I guess he wants it done.
Yeah, but he kept saying this is Wolfie's tights and Wolfie's shoes. What's he doing? Oh! Here comes Wolfie D. He jumps on Jamie, and there goes Bill Dundee racing out to the parking lot to come to the aid of his son as Wolfie D.
Oh, boy.
Saw him get ready to put the torch to his attire, slams into the trunk as Dundee. Uh-oh, now they got 2-on-1.
Running to
Come on, get
a truck outside there in the parking lot of our studio.
Jamie Dundee, Bill Dundee, taking
1960
advantage
unit.
of Wolfie
Memphis,
D.
Tennessee.
Wolfie's bad enough
You
to
see
get
the
there
traffic.
himself
I wonder what they're
one-on-one.
thinking,
I can
Pat.
tell you, when the two
Driving by.
Dundees jump on him, and Bill Dundee has him down,
You know, later on,
Wolfie is
you guys
being
utilize that
subjecting,
parking
and
lot.
here comes Bart Sawyer, Fleck Havana, as they break it up and run
There's
the
the rock.
Dundees off. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to craziness in just a moment.
Take it and burn it off.
Back with more craziness on the
That's
land.
what you get when you mess with a judge.
Stipulations were that the loser received 10 lashes.
Say that, Doug. That's for Brian Christopher, because you listen to him. It's him, it ain't me. It's Brian Christopher. Be a man. It's your fault, Brian Christopher.
Doug Gilbert, Tony Fogg, Tommy Rich, Ron Christopher over the way.
As a real man, you'd have took these licks. So I took off 10, huh? How about number 11?
Wow! What in the world? Doug Gilbert holds off and nails wildfire Tommy Rich. Oh boy, look out! Pandemonium in the Big One Expo Center.
It's the Big One Expo Center in Memphis, Tennessee.
Christopher go. Toasts his double J out on the concrete floor. He's got Tommy Rich.
Where is this venue, Randy?
It's at the Big One Expo Center in Memphis. It's after we left the Mid-South Coliseum. It's at the Hollywood exit 5. I think it's the old Treasury building.
Right.
Because it was Christopher coming out, evening it up after Jarrett interfered in the bout. Christopher just come out to even everything up, and they continue. Oh boy.
It's not there anymore, Rusty.
Okay.
Apologize, Gilbert. Tommy Rich on top of the table that he gathered up from the
Another scaffold match.
He's sitting Gilbert up. Come on, guys.
Frank Morrell, Jeff Channel, Tony Falk.
Oh, that could have been bad.
I don't think that was exactly how they planned it.
No, that could have been bad on his neck. That table. His Tommy had put on a few pounds at that point in life.
Have got to get some help. They've got Christopher handcuffed over in the
Referee downtown Bruno.
Just like Jarrett and all of them like it. It's Jarrett Morrell fall.
Did Frank Morrell started the business like as a youngster, stay his whole life?
Yes, he started in East Tennessee around Bristol, the tri-state area. Jeff had returned. He was switched heel and we're trying to get heat on him here. Just very good stuff and very good stuff from the great Lance Russell.
Quite some time. I got to tell you, I am just stunned that the Rich Gilbert breakup has taken place. These guys have been together like brothers for a long time. They've caused us personally a lot of problems. We're going to get Tommy Rich out here and see if we can get some answers about the split up between Doug Gilbert and Wildfire Tommy Rich. I mean, you know how long you heard the names Gilbert and Rich together, and they've beaten a lot.
Lance is just so good, and I don't think this clip has that, and we will get that out real quick and take about 30 seconds each to describe what we just saw. USWA from 1996 on Talk to Memphis Wrestling. Mr. Trammell.
That was, I mean, that wasn't Jamie Dundee working. That was Jamie Dundee shooting.
It was good.
Yeah, that's Jamie. That's Jamie.
Hey, Chris, I think you had gone away by 1996.
Yes, I lived in Southwest Arkansas then, so I did not get to see that live. The general action and the atmosphere of what was going on is true Memphis. Wild, crazy, mayhem. Like that's what people loved in Memphis.
And that summed up, obviously, it's because I raised on, that sums up the radio's booking philosophy right there. 30 seconds. USWA 96, Rusty Robinson.
Oh yeah, this was just terrific. Great Memphis stuff. You know, one thing I would say, Corey Macklin, I think he was overshadowed. He was pretty good. You know, you might not think him, you know, in relation to Dave Brown and Lance Russell, but darn, he was pretty good on that mic.
Absolutely. Adam, put up Dennis King's deal, because I can tell you, Dennis, right now, I can answer this question, and Rusty will certainly can. Let's put it up there, because honestly, I'm not knocking Rusty. Rusty is a couple of years, not much, a couple of years older than me, a little more than a couple of years older than Chris and Pat. It is what it is. He says, did any of the gentlemen on the panel ever get to see wrestling in the Ellis Auditorium? I saw volleyball in the soon-to-be Cook Convention Center, and I saw wrestling in the Cook Convention Center, never in the Ellis Auditorium. Rusty, I think you did.
I did see wrestling in the auditorium. The way it was set up in the old Ellis Auditorium is kind of divided in half. So there was a north hall, there was a south hall, and it's just gigantic curtain kind of down the middle. But you could open it up to have the whole thing open. I think it seated like 7,500, 8,000 maybe. So they would usually in those days have it open for both sides, but they close off half of it like for concerts or other things. And I saw all kinds of things, not just wrestling, but they brought big name acts to the Ellis Auditorium before the Coliseum opened.
It's time. Go ahead, Pat.
The Ellis Auditorium's not there anymore. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Where was it, Rusty?
Right beside what's now the Cook Convention Center, right, Rusty?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The Renaissance Convention Center.
Yes, that used to be the Cook after Everett Cook,
Right.
and now it's some bank that is the bank of this show, Renaissance Bank, that's located there, right across the street from Bass Pro Shop, Pat.
That's right, the biggest Bass Pro Shop on earth.
All I was going to say is, obviously, I'm not old enough, but I appreciate them naming the building after me, even though I wasn't able to attend.
Yeah.
Moving right along, 4470, we start the cards of the week, and we are going to blow by this. I say this every time, but to get in everything I want to get in, We got to do that. 4470. This is a card from Madison Square Garden on August the 23rd, 1963. I might butcher the names. Carl Steef against Prince Nero. Magnificent Maurice against future Mr. Wrestling Tim Wood. Argentino Apollo and Pedro Morales against Skull Murphy and Brute Bernard. Then Miguel Perez against Johnny Bernard. Gorilla Monsoon against Cowboy Reed. Bubba Brazil and Luke Patino against the Fabulous Kangaroos. Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, the original Nature Boy, against Hans Mortar. Then, number 8, Keller Kowalski against the legendary living legend Bruno Sammartino. This was August the 23rd, 1963. Real quick, folks, we'll go with Chris first, and then Pat, and then if Rusty's back, we'll do Rusty after that. We'll go Chris and Pat.
Well, I would have loved to have seen some of these guys. I never saw Pedro Morales in person. I remember Brute Bernard wrestling with Frank Morel, Brute Bernard and the Angel. But I would have really loved to see Buddy Rogers. After hearing all the stories, now I won't lie, I'd have left after his match because I wouldn't have watched Bruno because I saw Bruno enough that I don't need to watch Bruno. I don't know how growing up with Memphis wrestling back blood, I guess I just don't get it.
All right, as Dr. Robinson is on a house call right now, he may not be back on the show right now. That Madison Square Garden, quick comments there, Mr. Trauma.
Well, the first thing I noticed was Tim Woods, who we would know in Georgia as Mr. Wrestling 1. And, it's like Chris said, that's just a big man card right there, for sure.
All right, then the next video or next card we will see is 4470, and we won't have discussions about that. We will just read the card from 4470. Memphis, this is August the 24th, 1964. A ladies match with Sherry Lee against Joanne Phillips. Then the Giant Kentuckians against Jake Smith and Luke Brown was the second match, and then the main event is a world tag team match, Tojo Yamamoto and Alex Perez against the tag team of the Von Brauners. This is Memphis 1964, and I will let Pat go ahead and talk about the Von Brauners main event match against Tojo and Alex Perez, and I don't know if we've lost Adam or not, and I will try to find that card. Pat, you comment on the Von Brauners.
Well, the Von Brauners were let me put it this way, a very era-driven heel tag team. It obviously was generational, and they were the evil Germans, as Tojo was the evil Jap. So I'm assuming Tojo was the babyface in this, and the Giant Kentuckians were around for a long time early on in the Goulas territory, and just a mainstay in the 60s into the early 70s.
Next card we'll take a look at is in Owensboro, Kentucky on Tuesday night, August the 22nd, 78. This is a spot show, and the tickets, Pat, are 2, 3, and 4. And the ladies opened up in a tag team match, Beverly Shade and Natasha against Ann Casey and Sherry Lee, again at the Owensboro Sports Center on August the 22nd, 1978. The second match, and what a match this is, Joe LeDuc and John Louis against former 6-time world champion Lou Thez and Jackie Welch, followed by a very rare defense of the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship, Nelson Royal against Tommy Gilbert. And the main event of the night, grudge match of the year, Handsome Jimmy against Bill Superstar Dundee. And Chris, this could have easily been, in 1978, a Jonesboro card.
Oh, for sure. And I just sitting here thinking, Jackie Welch looks so much like Robert Fuller. He's not as big, but they look alike because they're cousins. But if you remember back, he even wore the light blue tights that Robert always wore. He looked so similar to him, just a miniature version.
Who were you talking about, Chris? Chris, who were you talking about there? I missed
Jackie Welch.
Okay. Sorry, Randy.
No problem at all. Talking Memphis wrestling, we'll go. This will mean something to Chris Ellis because he was probably there. This will mean something to Randy Hills because in 1979, one of the last few cards at the old American Legion Arena on Washington Street in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is August the 25th, 1979. The tickets are 2, 3, 350, and 4. The opening match, Pete Austin against Dallas Montgomery, a local guy. The semifinal match of a 3-match card was 2 out of 3 falls. Jerry the King Lawler against Tommy Gilbert in 79. Lawler was back heel. And the main event of the night was the Blonde Bombers, Wayne Ferris and Larry Latham. Larry Latham, the future Moondog Spot, and Wayne Ferris, the future Honky Tonk Man, teaming with Sergeant Danny Davis, the future Nightmare Danny Davis, against Jerry Jarrett, Bill Superstar Dundee, and Eddie Marlin. So this is the Hills against the Office, Pat. The Hills against the Office.
That's absolutely right. That is absolutely right. There's some talent in that. I'm not a fan of 6-man tag matches, but I would have loved to have seen that one.
No doubt about it. Real quick, because you were probably there, my man, Mr. Ellis.
Well, Randy, if memory serves me, wasn't that like a big brawl? Didn't that end up in a big brawl? Wasn't Eddie involved because Danny Davis kept getting involved and making it 3-on-2? But didn't it go outside the ring in Jonesboro?
Went outside the building.
Outside the building. Okay, I knew it was something. Yeah. I knew it was something like abnormal because I was there and I'm thinking that's that crazy ass deal that happened. But yeah, the other thing about that card, Pete Austin was a massive human being, and like he was only there like 2 months or something. And I thought, man, that guy. Looking back, I thought he could have been something, but I don't know whatever happened to him. Of course, I was glad, too, Lawler turned back heel, so I was back on the Lawler bandwagon. But I never did like Wayne Ferris at all, ever.
Okay, let's real quick. And when I call for it, I want to put up 4471, and I want to tell a story, so I want to be right now full screen all the way, wearing my Jonesboro, Arkansas volleyball because, man, Chris Ellis, the Lady Hurricanes, the first official game of the season. It was last night. Who stole the show? Well, we beat last year's state champions 3 straight sets and beating Brooklyn last night. But if I do say so myself, I knocked down lightning, I rolled on the thunder, I stepped on a grave and made a dead man wonder. Packed crowd at the activities gym at Jonesboro High School by freaking guys, and we had an absolute blast at the volleyball game. It was fun, and you're looking right now at the voice, the PA voice. I'm going back to my roots, excited about it. Next Thursday, we'll be back and ready to rock and roll there on Main Street at that brand new activities gym. This is just year 2 of that. Now, started selling pictures when I was 10 years old. Started ring announcer when I was 14 years old. In the 80s, Eddie Marlin says, Randy, when you're not in school, when you're not busy, when you're not doing towns, when you're not studying, you need to go out and find me a town to run. Find us a town to run. This is the first, Pat Trammell, you talked about the first town you ever promoted. We can compare my card to your card. I can tell you this card sold out, and I made very good money. I bet my payoff was better than your payoff because I know that Eddie Marlin liked my ass, and he would take care of me. 4471. we'll go down the road. It's not that far away from where I belong, not that far away from where Chris Ellis used to be from, and not a hell of a long way from where Chris Ellis is now. Might be closer to Southside to Tuckerman, Arkansas, than Jonesboro to Tuckerman, Arkansas. Look at this card. Johnny Woolhoit against the spoiler number 2, which was Frank Morrell. The second match of the night, Tommy Gilbert against Mark Batten. Then the Zimbabwe Express member Kareem Muhammad, who was Ray Candy in a past life, against Brad Batten. Then came an interesting tag team match. The Young Blood brothers, Jay and Mark, as Tom Ernesto was booking at this point in time, the Young Bloods against Jerry Bryant and Leaping Lanny Poffo. In the main event of the night at Tuckerman High School in Tuckerman, Arkansas. And when Chris comments here, because I had a brain fart, a legendary baseball and basketball coach was there and was our sponsor, and I forgot his damn name, but in a minute Chris will tell you. The main event of this night, Randy Hill's first solo, promoting the town, did the whole deal, set the building up, put out the window cards, found the sponsor, the whole deal. May the 31st, 1985, the main event, Jerry the King Lawler against Randy Macho Man Savage. Chris Ellis, tell me who that damn coach is.
Well, that coach is Coach Morgan Gilbert.
Yes.
Who is on the NEA board still with me today on the retirees part. He is in the NFHS Hall of Fame. He won over 1,000 basketball games and 1,000 baseball games. He's one of only 6 people to ever do that, ever. And if you'd have thought, if people in the WWE could only see that WWE Hall of Famers, Macho Man Randy Savage and Jerry the King Lawler, wrestled in Tuckerman, Arkansas, RH, that's unbelievable.
How far is Tuckerman from Southside?
30 miles.
30 miles, and it was a hell of a payoff. Pat, how did that compare to your card the first time you promoted, and what did you think about the card? And we'll let Pat go full screen.
Well, that was quite a card right there. I'd say that was better than every card I had, although I didn't promote the first time. I just unlocked the door, and I did have Ted DiBiase, Steve O, Tommy Rich, and Butch Reed in the babyface locker room, and the Mass Superstar in the heel. So that was a good card, but it didn't get over. It wouldn't have got over like you did right there, for sure.
So what did you think about my debut?
I think you got two of the best there, and I know you put that together, and that's pretty special right there. I'm glad you still got that.
Chris, what would you say? How many people were that building? Because it was packed and it was a turn away crowd. We turned them away. What would you think? 800 people, maybe?
No, I think it'd hold 1,000.
Really?
Yeah, it'll hold 1,000 people. Yeah. And then, Randy, I was going to say this. I give you kudos. You probably outdid Pat on your card, but I got to give Pat credit. He got people to pay money to come watch Steve O.
It was a tag team, Ted D and Steve O.
Well, Ted DiBiase drew them because Steve O did not.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, Randy, you have VHS of that anywhere by chance?
No, no. Nobody had.
I mean, that footage right there would be impressive. Like, that's Lawler and Savage. I mean, that was. I mean, they were drawing 9,000 probably to the Coliseum then. So everybody in Jackson County and Craighead County and Lawrence County, they all wanted to come to that. I mean, you turn people away, I'm sure.
And later in the year, And this was May the 31st. Later in the year, Savage debuted in the WWF. What a great show. We got a couple of more things. I got the controversy of the week coming up, and we wanted to show some good stuff. We started doing some stuff from the Power Pro Wrestling category. This is fairly long, but I think you guys will enjoy this. This is 11 minutes, 56 seconds. This is when Jim Cornette returned to Memphis Wrestling, 11:56 as Pat Trammell, Chris Ellis, I'm Randy Ellis. This is Talking Memphis Wrestling. And let's watch the last video of the day. We'll see that right now on Talking Memphis Wrestling.
And now, even if it's the $5 grand's worth it, because Baxter puts the stunner on him. This can do it. He pinned him.
Oh,
Look out.
Lights are...
What's going on? Hey, look out.
Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette. Cornette shows up with that tennis racket.
What is this?
Hey, come on.
Looks like everybody's trying to collect $5,000 here today.
I know, the referee's calling for the bell.
Brandon Baxter.
James E. Cornette, not even scheduled to be here today, shows up on the Power Hour. Here comes Alan Steele out. C.B. Wyatt nails him with those nunchucks. There's Robbie D. They knock Robbie out.
Turn for this.
By Jerry
This is
tried
called
to get
Kill
him
Him
on
Out.
the ring apron.
Hey,
Meanwhile,
come on.
Cornette is jumping up and down on Brandon Baxter. He really blasted him with that tennis racket, and again he nails him. He got him right in the head one time, yeah. Now choking him.
Yeah, Cornette thinks he's Andre Agassi or somebody, I guess, with that tennis racket. He's putting it on Brandon Baxter.
Except Agassi doesn't choke people with his.
No, he doesn't. He plays by the rules, unlike Cornette's doing in here. Robbie D finally, here comes some help. Randy sends out Kurt Angle and Wolfie D. Wolfie with the hubcap, and the hubcap a little too much for that tennis racket, and Cornette takes off.
I'll try to get attend to Brandon here. Brandon not looking too good.
No, just an attack on Brandon
by Jim Cornette. He shouldn't even be anywhere around here.
No,
there he is, James E. Cornette. I think most of you wrestling fans know him. Randy and the other guys attending to Brandon. Brandon,
I'm going to go up and see.
He doesn't look to be in good shape at all. Corey, you gonna? Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Let's just take a break, take care of Brandon, and then we'll be back.
Power Pro Wrestling.
Good Power Pro stuff. We show our sponsor, Bill Blake Insurance, as we return to the Power Hour.
Celebrate the confidence and peace of mind of five-star safety. Celebrate by making the one. I'll get you 3 dozen.
As this was show number 69, August the 7th, 1999.
One of those nights, Power Pro superstars invade the new Daisy Theater on Beale Street. It's
showed up at
men battling for survival and $10,000 in a 12-foot steel cage. The undefeated Olympian and current Power Pro champion Kurt Angle defended his title against sensational Steve Bradley. Dangerous Doug Gilbert faces a mystery challenge. Wolfie D and Kill Wicked collide in a street fight match. Also, see stretcher matches, hardcore matches, Chris Cannonball's return, Big Kitty, Glenn Koko, Derek King, and more. It's survival in a cage. It's desperate measures tonight. Power Pro Wrestling, the new Daisy Theater. Tickets $5, $8, $10 on sale now at the new Daisy Theater.
Get out of here. I don't want to bring anybody out here while he's out here ranting and raving like this. Come on, Cornette. Just take it right on out of here, if you don't mind. Just take it right on out of here.
Wait a minute. Why don't I just talk to you for a minute, Dave? I'm sorry. I'm sweating. I have a little work to attend to. Look at this. First of all, that stinking punk bit. Can you get a shot of that, you idiot? He bit my tennis racket with his big, ugly, granite head. That stinking punk Brandon Baxter. You know something? There is a bunch of incompetence down here. Nobody I mean, nobody has been able to collect the $5,000 that I put on that stinking punk's head.
You're the one that did it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, baby. $5,000 to Jim Cornette. He doesn't like to come down and get his hands dirty, you see. But I had to because I had no other choice. Because a couple of guys tried, they couldn't get it done, and the other ones that were supposed to chickened out, didn't try at all. Well, let me tell you something, Brandon Baxter. I get what I pay for. And if I can't, then I'll come down and do it myself like I just did. I don't think you're going to be walking around Memphis, walking around Power Pro Wrestling anymore, because I dinged your head, and I choked you out, and I kicked the bejesus out of you. And Brandon Baxter, the reason for it is because you remember Dave Brown just as well as everybody out there does. See, when I came down here in February to Power Pro Wrestling, I got in a match with Brandon Baxter due to the request of my good friend Randy Hales, and Brandon Baxter knocked my front tooth out right here.
Yeah, but he didn't intend to, for heaven's sake. That was an accident, and then you come down here putting a bounty on it.
He drew his fist back, he punched me in the mouth, and knocked my tooth out. If that was an accident, then so was the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And I'm going to tell you something, Baxter. Nobody gets one over on Jim Cornette. You caused me a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of embarrassment. And so I'm going to cost you real dear. I'm going to cost you your career. But you see, the reason why I'm here in person today of all days is because finally I have realized that my quest to get a hold of that welcher, that cheat, that con man, that backstabbing turncoat Randy Hales is not going to work unless I confront him in person. Because you see, when I was down here in February, I sat down with Randy Hales and I said, Randy, I said, you're sitting on top of a gold mine, but being as you're from Jonesboro, Arkansas, you're a redneck hillbilly, you don't know how to take advantage of it. If you and me join forces, I told Randy, I said, with my financial backing, my connections in this business, my intelligence, my experience, and your ability to type, we could be a great team. We could be a great team. We could have the greatest wrestling promotion of all time, manage a huge stable of wrestlers. And Randy Hales told me, Jim Cornette, I'll go for it. I'll give you 50%.
I find that hard to believe.
I find it hard to believe that you're only 75 years old and you look as bad as you do. But Randy Hales told me he was going to give me 50% of Power Pro Wrestling if I came down here and showed him what to do. Because after all, what is Randy Hales, huh? What is he really?
He's the owner, the founder, and the very successful president of Power Pro Wrestling.
What he is a redneck hillbilly from Jonesboro, Arkansas, with an Adam's apple as big as a basketball. He buys his clothes at Kmart, and he doesn't have a... Shut up. And he doesn't have a clue about how to run a wrestling company, but I do. And Randy Hales, I got news for you. A big international star such as myself don't like being jerked around. As a matter of fact, you realize I'm not only a national star, I'm a worldwide star. They sell dolls to me at Walmart, for Christ's sake. And I'm sick and tired, Randy Hales, of you ignoring my cards, my letters, my phone calls, my FedExes, my faxes. So I have come here today to get what's
where
right.
all those came from, too. The phone calls on the air and the FedEx package.
My God, Dr. Watson, watch out. This man has a firm grasp for the obvious. We'd have a nice conversation if you just stand there and hold the microphone. I came to get what is rightfully mine, Randy Hales. 50% of this company. I moved from Connecticut back to my home in Louisville, Kentucky, just so that I'd be closer to show you what to do. To show you, you Arkansas simpleton, how to run a company, how to deal with wrestlers, how to deal with talent. So, Randy Hales, you may be able to ignore me when I send messengers, but I've come here in person, and I want you out here right now. I want you, you skinny, long, tall, stick man, drink of water, and that Adam's apple that sticks out like that, to come out here in your cheap clothes and
Here's Randy right here, and a mighty fine...
Brandon, I wasn't avoiding you. You owe me. I'm in your face right now, Cornette.
Oh, you are?
Hey, come on. Hey, come on.
Let me tell you something. Now, you talk a lot, Cornette. You talk a lot. Let me tell you something right now, Cornette. I want you to know this. You come out here and it's 14 after, and the problem that you made for this TV is the stinking volunteer of your own life. You won't shut up. You're stinking out. That's why. Let me tell you something. You said how you were brilliant. Let's go back to 92. Because you could talk yourself into it. They hired you, Jim Hurt or somebody, the WCW Creative Committee. Well, you couldn't keep your mouth shut, you couldn't get along, and they fired you. They fired you. Then you caught somebody out of $1 million, and you opened up Smoky Mouth Wrestling, and after you lost all his buddy Cornette, then you know what happened? You shut it down.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Genius. So what you're saying is, because you don't have $1 million, you pay your stinking wrestlers off in chickens and grass seed around here, you hillbilly.
Then, after you bankrupted that company, what happened, Cornette? You went to the WWF. You talked McMahon into hiring you. You couldn't get along with Bruce. You couldn't really get along with JR. You couldn't get along with Russo or any of them. And now you're butt back in Louisville because they wouldn't do your stuff. Let me tell you something. The bottom line is, Cornette, I said I'd let you hear as the manager, but I've seen the light. Let me tell you something. Whatever I have, I work my own. If this company loses money, I lose money, not anybody else. If the company makes money...
Well, I got news for you. Wearing this that you probably come up with at a garage sale, you can't afford to lose $5. But I'll tell you something. I couldn't get along with people because I'm a genius. And they wouldn't listen to me. Just like you're not listening to me. I could go out here and grab somebody out of the audience to run a better wrestling company than you. What you want is you want to sit down here in Hickland, in Memphis, with all of these
That's another thing.
all these
You started in Memphis, you went to Louisiana, you went all over the world. Now you think you can come back after we've all, including you, Dave Brown, and you sweated blood, sweat, and tears. You just take 50%, me give it to you. You're crazy as hell. You're crazy as hell for that.
Yeah, see, I started in Memphis, and I was the only one to make it. I left because I was the only one with the ability and the talent to get over somewhere and make $1 million while you stayed here. And I'm going to tell you something, Randy, and I want you to listen real good. No violence, no raised voice. Here's the deal, man. I want 50% of this company like you promised me, or elsewise, I'm going to take 100%. Because I'm going to sign up everybody that means a thing, and I'm going to be calling the shots, and you, local yokel, are going to be back serving Slurpees at a 7-Eleven in Jonesboro or slinging a strawberry sundaes at the Steak and Shake, because Jim Cornette, I will see to it. I promise you.
Hey, let me tell you this. We're late on time. Before you get a part of this company, I'll be a dead man, and that ain't going to happen. You'll have to get this company over my dead body.
That's very agreeable to me. That's very agreeable to me.
Okay, let's take a break.
Comments on that segment from 99 will start with our senior member of this panel, not in age, but he's been here beside me since day one. Have you ever seen that, Pat? I think I showed it before.
I don't know that I've seen that. I don't think I've seen that, and I just there's a lot of real heat in there with both of you. You let it go.
What was the real heat?
Well, you basically that's why they ran him off at WWE because he couldn't get along with anybody.
Right. There wasn't real heat between me and him.
I know.
Of our business.
But I mean,
story, and you bought it.
I bought it sitting here today because it's real stuff. I mean, was it Rick Rubin's money he had?
Yes.
Yeah, and he burned through a couple $1 million of that. So I mean, it was all out there. That was good stuff.
Yeah, that was fun stuff.
I've never seen you two. I mean, I obviously love the Smoky Mountain Power Pro feud, but I've never seen you two go at each other like that in a promo. That was outstanding.
That's how Memphis wrestling was built on. So, Chris, where in the hell were you living in 1999?
I was still in DeQueen, down southwest Arkansas. But I'll say this. I don't know I know you went to Arkansas State. I guess you had a radio TV degree or whatever. I don't know about Cornette. But people will see a master class on how to do a promo and how to get over something. Show that right there.
That's it.
That was ad-libbed. working off each other on live television, and it was awesome. And I've never seen that before. I've seen Randy involved in stuff before, but not from the Power Pro because I didn't live here then. So I didn't get to see that. It's the first time I've seen that. That's freaking awesome. I mean, that is fantastic.
Do both of you guys give that a thumbs up?
Oh, two.
Oh, no question.
Two thumbs up.
Chris said it a lot better than I did. That was a piece of work right there. That was a piece of wrestling art right there.
That's wrestling, by the way. Not sports entertainment. It's entertaining, but it's wrestling.
Now, I usually don't do this late in the show, but I'm going to completely get off Memphis wrestling and do some current events, and I think we need a little break. We're going to redo the open of this show and a serious thing to talk about coming up on Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guests.
Where to go next? Let's talk about the wrestling business. And let's talk about what we normally talk about every week. We go back to the glory days. We started last week, the early 70s, and showed that good stuff. Then, the most recent video wasn't that long ago, but really it was. That was from 1999. You didn't see much difference than the realism of the wrestling business compared in the 70s and in the 80s and the 90s. You really couldn't. Because wouldn't you say that argument between Jim Cornette and Randy Hales? Pat, would you say that came across as real?
Yes. I thought the heat was building and building and building, and I was waiting to see when you two went at each other because it was all true.
Chris, did that seem real to you?
100%. It's, like I said earlier, it's a work of art, man. It's fabulous.
I want to do a demonstration here. I want to just show something a little bit. Show and tell. What is this?
Toothpaste.
What happens when every drop goes out of the toothpaste? What happens, Pat?
It's no good. You roll it up, throw it away.
That's what happened to the wrestling business. Sure, they're doing billions of dollars right now. I'm not arguing that. But when they emptied the toothpaste, when it was emptied, you can't put it back in anymore. This was a time when it's believable. Now, when you have people involved in physical or television part of the wrestling business, on television for the world to see, in front of people, they have to know what they're doing. They have to have mentors. They just do. Because not everybody takes wrestling serious. Not everybody does. And sometimes you have celebrities or non-wrestling people. You had two non-wrestling people, non-wrestlers in that segment, and it was perfect. Do you guys agree? Cornette and my segment was perfect.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Logan Paul stuff in the WWF is perfect. You see a lot of perfect stuff, but you also see stuff that's not perfect. There is a wrestling promotion in Los Angeles, California. It's called Knox Pro Wrestling. This happened Saturday night. And there was a situation where they brought in a celebrity, a part of this wrestling company that's ran by and co-owned by Rikishi, one of the bloodlines, the Usos and Solo Sokola's father. And they had this wrestling card, and they brought in somebody, and this is when you get somebody. Anybody know what this young man's name is? His name is Raja Jackson. His dad was MMA fighter Action Jackson. They got in a situation at the wrestling matches at Knox Pro Wrestling, and the wrestler Scalo Stu, a former veteran of our armed services, as you see there. He ended up, because Mr. Jackson was doing an interview for a streaming deal watched by about 600 teenagers, and in that they did a little deal where Raja got in Jackson's face and Scalo hit him over the head with an empty beer can. They made some noise. Then people in that streaming service started saying, he punked you out, he punked you out, he punked you out. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but a terrible, horrific story. Chris is shaking his head. Pat, are you aware?
Yeah, I'm aware.
It's all over the news. This thug, this idiot, he goes into the ring, sucker punched him, and he suplexed him as a MMA fighter that he is, suplexed him down on his head and didn't protect him and knock him out. He hit him in the head 20 times. 20 times. Could have killed him. Finally, the other wrestlers pulled him off. And then finally, it was ended. The wrestler, obviously, that was a former service member, Psycho Stu, and it's SYKO Stu, STU, was rushed to the hospital. He had his teeth knocked out. He had his jaw dislocated. He had internal bleeding, all kinds of stuff. He's still in intensive care. I just want to tell everybody that there's been several people in the wrestling business. I have not as of yet. But this is a fundraiser set up for him, and it's a fundraiser for SYKO STU. SYKO STU. Jim Cornette, Chris Jericho, so many people has donated, and up to this point today, they have raised $112,000. This is what happens when you get a non-wrestling person involved in the wrestling thing. And it was Rampage Jackson. I said Action Jackson, who's a local wrestler. Thank you, Richard. It was Rampage Jackson's son. And it's just absolutely. Whose fault was it? It was the Jackson kids. No doubt about it. But it was the whole deal. It was lack of leadership, as Jeff Jarrett talked about on his podcast. No promotion should allow that to happen. And it's one of the most senseless, terrible acts that I've ever seen in my life. And I just wanted to clear that up. Chris, real quick, I want you to tell us what you learned today. Follow up on my last take and your last words for the show today and what you learned today.
Well, I always learn a lot when we go back and go through the history, some of the things I didn't know or had forgotten. And then you and Cornette's part was just, like I've said multiple times, it was amazing. I'd never seen it before, so I'm glad I got to see that. As far as this last deal with Rampage Jackson's son, the thing that occurred to me, besides the fact he doesn't know anything about the business, I was struck by the fact that the few times I've wrestled in my life and was involved, there were older veteran guys that explained things to you on how it worked and what you're supposed to do and not do, not to say and not say. And you've heard me say on this show about respect for the business, that I wasn't a worker, I was a fan, so forth. But what struck me was used to was somebody come in the ring that wasn't supposed to be in the ring, or when the referee, the other workers would beat the hell out of them. And everybody just kind of froze and watched this.
Because it doesn't happen anymore, because nobody believes our business. The toothpaste gimmick, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Well, that's where I was going. It supports exactly what you're telling. That's living proof, what we just saw. Because in the day, that would never got to that level.
Absolutely. And Dennis, this wrestling talk show, I would not so much, you could say it's a podcast, but it's every Tuesday night at 7 Central, and would love you coming back, watch this show. It's on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and Twitch. Final words to follow up to that subject that we just talked about, Pat Trammell. We're going a few minutes late, but that's okay, because I really wanted to get everything we got in today. I wanted to get in. I think this was an important show today. Your comments, last word.
Well, I will comment on the Randy Jackson issue quickly, because I don't want it to be the last word on what has been one of my favorite shows probably since we've been doing this. You know, I don't believe that kid didn't know what he was doing. I don't know if there was some backstage heat or anything, but his dad's been in this business all his life. How does he not know? So, you know, he'll get his, I guess. But anyway, Randy, you know, I don't know if our friends here that come and spend their Tuesday nights with them, which we're thankful for, really understand how much research and work you and Adam do in putting this show together. And, you know, it is very, very difficult, in my opinion, to go back in the archives and pull stuff out that is as interesting, informative, and educational as you do. And, you know, you and Adam pull it all together, and it comes off without a hitch. And Chris and Michael and I and Rusty get to sit at the feet of a master and enjoy it. But today was a very, very special show. And thank you, and thank all of our friends for being here tonight.
What caught you? What did you learn today, real quick?
Well, I learned today. I mean, you know, we saw a lot of the. I love the Scaffold match with Dundee. In contrast, it was interesting to me to contrast that from the one last week, and then all those old cards all over the territory, who was wrestling where and when. And it's just a fascinating, you know, I'm a frustrated historian, and it was just fascinating to see who had come in and out of the territory, wrestling here, there, and yonder, and you know, the backstories on them that you know because you grew up with it.
Great show. I enjoyed it as well. For Rusty Robinson, Dr. Rusty Robinson, who had to go. For Michael St. John, who did a great job producing. For Chris Ellis, who is back in the saddle again. Hopefully he'll be back next week on Talking Memphis Wrestling, and Pat Trammell. I am Randy Hills, and for my crew, this is Randy Hills saying bye-bye, everybody.